Good evening, YouTube. My name is Virgil Ben, and I'm going to be doing a read along. I'm going to make these common read alongs too for books that I find interesting, that I find inspirational, that I find great to read, or fun to read as well. And I'm going to be doing a read along of from Hope White, Witness on the Run by the print Love and Inspired. And so far we have Robin and Jake. Robin and Jake on the run, and there's a bolo out for Robin. Be on the lookout. So she's being investigated by law enforcement, basically, just to get you over the summary. So if you like more from my content and my channel, please leave a like and subscribe, and give me more video suggestions. I'm all for it. Now let's begin the read along. Excuse me. Now, page 220. Truthfully, Robin nodded. At first, I think Cassandra played up to his ego, added impressive his military career, that sort of thing. Any man, any woman for that matter, likes to be stroked. And Jake didn't get a lot of strokes growing up. She made him feel special. He bought right into it. What happened? Little things. She started messing with his head. I'm not sure why. Maybe she had a little control over her childhood and enjoyed manipulating Jake. Who knows? And they broke up because she waited until he was gone on his second tour of duty and sent him a Dear John letter. Robin glanced at the door to the basement. That must have hurt. It did. More than it should have. I don't know what she wrote in that letter, but it caused a wound I don't think ever healed. Do you think he still loves her? No, that's not love. It was a wish for a picture book life with a loving woman and family. From things he said, Jake's mom guess was that Cassandra wrote something awful in that letter about him being a horrible father because he had such a bad role model. But he wouldn't be a horrible father, Robin protested. Carol smiled. We know that. But somewhere in Jake lies the message that because his father was an abuser, he would become one as well. That's ridiculous, Robin said. Emotional baggage isn't necessarily rooted in reality, Robin. Like Robin's internal message that she'd never be as smart as Kyle. She never accomplished as much as Kyle would have had if he lived. Aren't you proud of me, Mama? I got an A in statistics. I'm on the debate team. I'm head of student government. There was never enough in Robin's mind because all she's heard were her mother's words. I miss him so much. Yet Robin was right there, every day fighting to get Mom and Dad's attention. Robin, Caroline questioned. I was just remembering some of my old baggage. My advice? Leave it at the door. However much you need Jake right now, he needs you more. Trust me on that. Robin folded a bath towel. We've only known each other a few days. All these rules, Caroline said. The first time I met Thomas, I knew he was the one. How long were you married? 33 years. He passed away 5 years ago after suffering a stroke. I'm so sorry. I don't think I could survive the pain of losing someone like that. Caroline touched Robin's shoulder. We were lucky, Robin. We shared more time together than many couples do. You can't dwell on the grief. You have to celebrate the love you shared. I wish I could. I've been carrying the grief around since my brother died 14 years ago. Would he have wanted you to carry this burden? Probably not. Definitely not. Caroline went back to folding towels. Nor would Thomas. Instead, I remember the laughter, the tenderness. Can you remember laughing with your brother? Robin smiled and remembered the day she went with him to run an errand for Mom, and how they got caught in the middle of a parade of bicycling hippies in Fremont. We did laugh, she paused. Good. Focus on that. The rest of the afternoon flew by. Robin found herself falling into a comfortable rhythm with Caroline doing chores for the inn. It gave her a sense of peace as she shoved the dark memories of her childhood. Robin spent the better part of her childhood wishing for Kyle to get better. Then she spent the rest trying to fill his spot in the family, by trying to make mom and dad doubly proud by being an overachiever, earning a degree in 3.5, not 4 years, and working for a foundation that helps sick kids. Yet no matter what she did, how hard she worked to impress them, they drift away, and she got the message that the wrong child had died. Why else would they push her away? Because they focus on the grief, just like you've been doing since Kyle's deaths. While it was time to switch gears, Caroline, Sketch, Mark, Jake, and Robin shared a delicious dinner of beef stew and biscuits. It felt like a family dinner, with Sketch tossing out snarky remarks, and Mac making silly boy comments that cracked up everyone. Robin caught Jake smiling at her, and for a second, she pretended this was her real family, and he was her husband. She looked away, not because the fantasy frightened her, but because she couldn't ignore the fear of losing someone she loved. There, she admitted it. She was falling in love with Jake, an horrible man who was a stranger just a few days ago. Robin slept better that night than she had in months. The anxiety about her current situation drifted away. Life was sometimes hard, but things you cared about were worth the pain. She dressed in a pair of jeans and a soft pink t-shirt and headed downstairs for breakfast. As she passed the front room, she noticed the fire burning in the fireplace and wished she could curl up on the couch and read a book. Excuse me, let me blow my nose. Maybe someday, when this was all over. She continued toward the kitchen. The sound of Jake's voice made her pause in the hallway, just outside the door. It's not that hard to get a GED. I'll help you study for the tests if you want. GEDs are for losers, Sketch said. Who told you that? Sketch didn't answer. Well, they're wrong, Jake said. Unless, of course, you think I'm a loser. You mean you didn't graduate from high school? Nope. Got my GED when I was 20, and I'm proud of it. Got my bachelor's degree when I was 25. Robin stepped into the kitchen and grabbed the mug from the rack. What I miss, she said, not wanting Jake to think she'd been eavesdropping. Intellectual discussion about the importance of education, Sketch said. Robin sat at the table next to Jake. I've got one of those. A degree, I mean. What kind? Sketch said. Bachelor of Arts in English. Sketch rolled his eyes. What? You don't think it's important to know how to communicate? Robin challenged. The doorbell rang, and the mood suddenly shifted. I'll get it. Caroline called from the front room. Jake stood and took Robin's hand, pulling her behind the cabinets and out of sight. And just like that, the light mood was gone. The doorbell reminded Robin that they were not a family, but strangers thrown together to defend themselves from evil. As they hid in the corner from the unexpected visitor, Robin calmed her breathing and squeezed Jake's hand. A few minutes later, Chief Wright came into the kitchen and glanced at Jake and Robin. Am I interrupting something? He raised a brow. With these two, Sketch stood and put his plate in the sink. You're always interrupting something. I've got some news, Chief Wright said. Jake released Robin and shut the kitchen door for privacy, even though Caroline's few guests had checked out yesterday. Robin braced herself for whatever was coming next. If only she could have one unremarkable day, one day to enjoy the dream of being part of a family. Jake's family. Do you guys fit in the description of the men who attacked you last night were seen outside Port Ludlow about an hour ago? How do you know? Jake said. I've got a friend in the department. Ask him to keep an eye out. So they found us. Robin fought back the burn in her stomach. Not necessarily, Jake said. They could be scouting the area. She looked from Jake to Chief Wright. It's true, the chief said. I think they would have been here by now if they knew where you were. What's the plan? Sketch said. The plan is you're staying out of it, Jake said to him. What? Because I'm 17? Sketch, you've been a tremendous help, but I don't want to put you in danger, Jake said. Whatever. I'm going for a ride. Sketch marched across the kitchen and pushed open the door to the back porch. Wear a helmet, Jake called after him. The door slammed, and Jake shook his head. That kid reminds me of someone. Chief Wright tapped his finger to his chin, and Robin caught the inference. Sketch reminded him of Jake, which is probably why Jake related to him so well. Anyway, the chief started, I wouldn't worry too much. If they're on a fishing expedition, they won't think to come here. Still, I can't risk it, Jake said. What are you going to do? The chief asked. Maybe we should take off. Find a hiding spot. Robin's heart sank. She just started feeling grounded again, safe. I don't know if being seen in public is such a good idea. Holding up here might be smarter, the chief suggested. Robin glanced at Jake, hopeful, but his gaze was locked on the chief's. I don't want to put Caroline and the kids in danger, Morgan. There's no way they could draw a direct line to the end, right? Jake thought a second, then. Her car is one of a kind. We need to hide it. Where is it now? Chief Wright asked. Behind the house. That thing doesn't have a garage? That thing has a name, Caroline said, walking across the kitchen and putting towels in the dryer. It's Lucy, and she understands that I need the garage for supplies. Chief Wright put up his hands. I stand corrected. You're forgiven. I've got room in my garage, Chief Wright said. Drive it to my place, and I'll bring you back. I'll go with you. Robin stood. Sketch raced into the kitchen, out of breath. Two guys, one's ball just pulled in. Then it's a good thing I'm here, Morgan said, calmly standing. Jake grabbed Robin and led her toward the basement door. Stay down there until I tell you it's safe. What about you? I'm staying up here in case Morgan needs help. Chief Wright shot him a look. Morgan, these guys are killers, Jake said. And I'm the police. The last thing they're going to do is kill a cop. If the car is out back, there's no reason for them to suspect you're here. They're digging through the haystack, Jake. I'll redirect them and send them away. All the same, I'm your backup. Jake motioned for Robin to go downstairs, but she hesitated. Please, Robin, you have to trust me on this. He brushed her kiss against her lips. A new yet automatic response. It's chapter 15, by the way. You come get me the minute they leave, she said. Sketch, go down there with her, Jake ordered. The kid accompanied her into the basement. I don't want Caroline to answer the door. Excuse me. Jake said, I don't want her anywhere near them. They won't even get in the house, Morgan said. Can I stay in the kitchen? Jake said. No, wait. I've got a better idea, Morgan said. He led Caroline to the front of the house, whispering instructions. Jake didn't like involving her, but trusted Morgan's instincts. Hoping to listen in on the conversation through the open window, Jake hid behind the grandfather clock in the sitting room. He waited 5 minutes, maybe 10, but nothing happened. He peeked through the window shears and spotted the men walking up to the house. Jake ducked behind the clock, out of sight, and held his breath. Thank you very much, Mr. Ross, Morgan said. My pleasure, Chief Wright. Caroline shut the front door and walked back into the kitchen. Officer? One of the men greeted him. Good morning, Morgan said. I see you found the best inn on the peninsula. It came highly recommended. Oh no, if they book a room here. Is there something we should know about? The man said. I mean, the police officer is here. I was following up on a missing persons bulletin. Who's missing? The second man said. A couple from Seattle. The innkeeper says she thinks they stayed here last night. But you know, small towns. Everyone's looking for drama. All right, that was page 220 to page 230. I guess I can improve my reading. I read pretty fast. I should also read and take my time as well, you know, and take deep breaths and take my time. You know what I mean? Just take deep breaths, and my reading is down. And I wanted to stutter so much, just like now. Anyway, how do you think my reading was? Do you like Witness on the Run? Please, if you like more from my channel, leave a like and a sub, and give me video suggestions. This has been the read along from my channel, Vergeman994. I will continue this tomorrow. Please, you and your family loved ones have a pleasant night, and please take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.